Let's be honest, that was an elite tank job by the Memphis Grizzlies. The Warriors were getting run off the court until the fourth quarter when they executed an epic last-second comeback for an improbable win. Led by the recent resurgence of free agent center Al Horford, I want to break down how the Warriors were plus 24 in this minutes, where he directed an offense from the paint and abused the opponent's smaller lineup, and how that can give the Dubs a different look when Steph comes back. So let's get to it. I get it, I'll be the first to admit it's against the tanking G League Grizzlies team, but a win is a win at this point. As much of a quality starting center Horford can be, he's still coming off the bench these days replacing Draymond in the first quarter, who had an awful game turnover-wise. Having a lineup of Santos and Horford at the 4 and the 5 is elite. Here they run a classic split action where Al has the ball in the short corner. As Santos gets ready to set a flare screen for Pods, he can sense that his original defender Pippen Jr. is not playing the low side. Since Memphis was not switching, the easy way to counter is to dive right to the rim. Pippen Jr. falls asleep and actually is picking his nose here, giving Santos an open lane for the dump-off pass by Horford. Early rotation by Hendricks as the weak side low man, but Pippen makes it 5 times worse by getting beat and reaching from behind. Gee continues to have an amazing streak of games and gets the and one opportunity off a great read and react play. With the Grizzlies losing Jaren Jackson Jr., sitting Zach Edey, and other bigs on the injury list, it's a 9-day lineup versus the playoff roster from a few years ago. With guys like Hendricks and Gigi Jackson guarding the paint, big man Al Horford took full advantage of the key to generate good looks. On the Pods Horford pick and roll, KCP switches on ball and Pippen Jr. already falls behind the play. Swing past the Gee, and not sure why Hendricks gets out of the paint to close out in the non-shooter, but this gives Horford the perfect opportunity to seal the smaller mismatch. Gee places the ball right on the money, Spencer comes to the weak side of the double team, and they get an initial stop. But Al is a champion who's going to go hard straight back up. This looks like what other teams do to the Warriors actually, and Al abuses the smaller guys with another and one. I can't believe Steve Kerr is actually allowing a big man to play bully ball. This is exactly what the Warriors need instead of chucking threes every time down the court. Al has another mismatch in the post and goes straight to work. As he gets into the paint, he sees that Coward is coming over as the weak side low man to help. He stays patient here but waits for the natural instinct of the low man defender to close back out to the corner before realizing that GP2 has snuck behind him on the baseline to the opposite side. Great patience here and bully ball to get an uncontested layup. Guy Santos has been breaking down defenses and creating advantages with the straight line drives. He looks like a completely new player. Here he hits Jackson with a tween, hezzy, then crossover to get right by him, forcing Memphis into rotations. KCP leaves the non-shooter to help, and now Coward is responsible for the 2 weak side dubs. Santos does not force anything and makes a jump pass to freeze the defense enough to kick it back out to Moody. Small comes to rotate, keep the ball swinging on the perimeter for Meshack to rotate, then another pass back to Horford. The fact that Al has a shooting stroke and a reputation of knocking these catch-and-shoot opportunities down gives him the chance to attack a long closeout by a guard and get right by him. What a move by the 40-year-old to get downhill and the finesse to finish at the rim here. Again, Santos getting straight-line drives has unlocked a different version of not only himself, but the Warriors offense that desperately needs more paint touches. Here he tracks 4 Grizzlies in the paint before kicking it back out to Al. Our good friend Kyle Anderson does not bite and stands his ground here, but look at Horford playing bully ball again, but getting right into the paint. Nothing fancy here, but straight backing the defender down as the rest of the Grizzlies stay home. 3 power dribbles and Horford goes into his jump stop and his classic right hand hook shot. No one's blocking this, and this is a high quality look in the key. Horford, and hopefully along with the addition of a healthy Kristaps Porzingis, could theoretically open up the Warriors offense more from an inside-out perspective. Look at Al calling for the ball on the mismatch. Memphis tries to help out here by having Pippen Jr. front the post up, and you're going to need a backside helper, which Spencer comes over to provide. Just toss the ball up in the air and let the big man go get it. The second Al grabs it, he has an immediate double team. The 2 Warriors on the weak side here have an advantage on 1 defender, and both cut to the rim as Jalen Wells falls asleep. Great cut by Pat Spencer here to land on 2 feet and explode for a strong finish to get an and one bucket. As we know, Horford can knock down a couple 3-pointers a game if needed as well. That's why he's lasted so long in this league as a winning player. You can tell off an inbounds pass, Al has set a screen for Spencer to come off and receive the ball. Not sure why Hendricks decides to leave his man and jump in no man's land, as his coverage is the stretch big. Simple pop out by Al, and this was a big 3 after Memphis could not miss in the 3rd quarter. It's refreshing to see a big man on the Dubs call for the ball and actually make use of it. There needs to be a much bigger emphasis on the paint presence with actual centers on the team now. With Horford getting another mismatch down low, look at Meshack cheating over in the key to try and help. Kick out to the corner, and Horford immediately dives in the key to call for the ball again. Tries to seal Spencer on the high side, so the second he gets an entry pass, Memphis comes to double the short corner. I love this cut by GP2 to make himself useful. KCP is not a shot blocker, so it's a simple assist by the big man to get a layup. I repeat myself, I know it's not against a starting caliber big man of the playoffs or something, but Horford post-ups give me a glimpse of hope of how the Warriors can get easier baskets around the rim more. Here he has another mismatch and is constantly trying to seal and raise his arm as a target. KCP tries to cheat off a non-shooter to help again, so the Dubs have to swing it back up top. Melton waits for the second KCP has to go back to his man in GP2 to dump it back to Al. Straight bully ball, backing the defender down and waiting for the reach in before spinning over his left shoulder, and he always has a nice touch finishing around the basket. Horford was also looking real bouncy with a couple examples attacking closeouts like a guard. Gee and Melton run a pick and roll and the Grizzlies switch. Swing past the Pods, who is excellent at attacking off the catch, where he gets by the defender and forces Memphis into rotations. Not the best spacing here, as Small is standing there right to help, so Pods kicks it to the weak side to Horford. Again, the threat of Al's shooting ability forces the defender to have to close out just a bit too much, where he tricks even the Memphis coaching staff that he was going to shoot, but instead attacks the paint. Straight line drive and even hits a semi-Euro step for the Unk finger roll. Now, the game-winning play did not really have much of a breakdown. The Warriors win their second jump ball of the minute here, and the ball lands right to Horford on the post-up. I love how he does not pass it out and stays playing bully ball. He first looks to the perimeter, but spins over his left shoulder to get a step on Jackson. Goes up for a high-quality look, but misses, then misses his tip-in, and gets his own rebound again, but falls down to the ground after Grizzlies defenders try to strip him. I don't know if this was a travel or not, but Memphis kind of stopped playing until they realized Al dumps it off to Santos after falling down, who somehow got the ball with no whistle. Fantastic shot fake to get the defender in the air, and finishes the contested layup for the lead. There you guys have it. As messy as that fourth quarter was, this game flipped once the Warriors committed to playing through Al Horford and stopped drifting around the perimeter. When they threw the ball into him in the post, the offense finally had structure as Memphis did not have the size to handle him one-on-one. When the double came, he made the simple read and kept the ball moving, and that inside game forced the defense to collapse instead of staying home to shooters. More than anything, Horford brought control in a very bizarre game that felt chaotic at the end as he slowed it down, punished mismatches, and gave the Warriors a reliable paint presence they have been missing for a while. Even though that was an elite level of tanking, I'll take any win at this point, and it was good to see the Warriors possibly change up their offense around the center position. One last game before a much needed All-Star break, so if you guys like this breakdown, like and subscribe to see more.